Looking at all the situation that's been happening within Iran as of yesterday, with the bombing of several or seven dams by the United States Air Force, those actions are international war crimes. We are not supposed to, or people or militaries are not supposed to attack civilian infrastructure. Now, the caveat is if that infrastructure or civilian infrastructure is being used by a military for military purposes for directed attacks towards another nation, then yes, those quote unquote assets can be bombed, but there was no indication that those dams were being used by Iran for military activities. With that being said, I think that the best thing Iran needs to be doing right now is taking the fight directly to America. Now, let's talk about several things here. It's one thing to strike nations such as the UAE and Kuwait that host military bases for America in those countries. That's one thing to do, but it's a totally different thing to attack or at least go on the offensive towards the American homeland, which is of course located in the Western Hemisphere of this world. If I were Iran, that's what I would do. Forget, not necessarily forget, but yes, do attack or go on the offensive for American military assets in these different countries within the region surrounding, the country of Iran. Yes, but definitely you do not leave out direct offensive measures aimed directly towards the actual country of America, which is the United States, on the mainland front. What happened and what has been happening for decades is a tragedy. It is a noted tragedy in human history. It is a very big blight on us as a humanity, as humans, and there's no justification. Well, there's always a justified reason to do something, no matter what the thing is. But really, when you look at the grand scheme of things, there is no justification for any of the acts that have been happening between both countries and just any country in general when it comes to war. But I do, again, understand and follow politics. Politics is about power and influence, and geopolitics is power, influence, and land. You see. But going back to Iran, my message to you guys are very simple. You need to strike hard, you need to strike deep, and you need to strike fast. I live in the United States. I don't want to see the United States struck by any military, just like any other country. They don't want to see their country being struck by any military regime or anything like that. But however, the time has come where unfortunately America has to get more than just simply a bloody nose or a blackened eye. We have to be hit hard. It's unfortunate because we are doing so much damage to the social good of mankind right now, and a lot of times when it comes to understanding how America thinks. I'm going to break from this and I'm going to tell you a very quick story. I was at the Houston Dynamo game last year, and it was a reporter or journalist that came in from Japan. She had a very nice kimono on, and we were talking, and she says, "Hey, what is going on with your government? And how can the United States and America have either better relationships and things like that?" And I told her flat out, I said, "Hey, listen, first things you have to get over is the fact that the atomic bomb was dropped, or the hydrogen bomb was dropped in your country, and you must acquire a nuclear weapon. You must have a real standing military in order to be respected fully by America. Because anything less than that makes you simply a puppet or a vassal state, or just some person that the American government feels like they can run over. And she asked me, she says, how did you come to this particular conclusion for the delivery for this answer? I say, well, I'm black. I'm a black American. I've been a black American for a very long time. And I can tell you, black Americans in this country are the bottom of the barrel. We are. It is what it is, and we don't get any respect. Well, why isn't that you guys don't get any respect? Because we don't fight for anything. Yeah, we may march, we may take blows during a protest or something like that, but we don't fight. We don't get violent. We have the propensity of violence towards each other, but not the propensity of violence to other people who we deem hostile to us. And that is how countries like Japan is being seen, and this is how Iran is being seen. It is being seen as a country that is weak, that cannot deliver a knockout blow, which is why the United States government is doing, the Trump administration is doing what it's doing in that region. Now, granted, we may not know all of the top secret, details and everything like that, and that's fine. That's just the way the dice roll. However, Iran, my message to Iran is this: you must acquire a nuclear weapon. Whether Israel likes it or not, doesn't matter. Whether a fatwa was introduced or not, doesn't matter. America only respects countries that have nuclear weapons. And if you don't believe me, take it from a black guy right here in America. You see, they don't do that kind of stuff to North Korea. The United States may not like North Korea, probably can't stand North Korea, but they will never attack North Korea, ever. They will never attack Russia with all of the Russia phobia that's going on in the American mainstream news. They will never attack Russia, at least not directly. You see what I'm saying? So nuclear weapons serve as simply more than just a simple deterrence. Nuclear weapons stands as that safeguard to say, hey, listen, if you do A, you will get B, black and white. I give my condolences to the assassinated leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and I hope I'm saying his last name correctly. I give my deepest condolences to his assassination and his death, his martyrdom, because that's really just what it is, right? But to attack a country like Iran, during a time of a funeral procession, during a deep time of mourning, only serves as a testament to the savagery of the Trump administration and the United States government. I don't take sides. I don't like one country over the other. I'm not one pro-country over another. I'm not that. I'm just giving you simply the facts. Only a barbarian would do that. A savage. And so since most people see the acts that the United States military, under the behest of the Trump administration here in the United States, they see those military actions being committed or executed over the last several days towards Iran, you must deal with a savage where they are. They are not going to understand reason. They are not going to understand your laws, your thought process. They're just not going to understand. I'm going to flat out tell the people of Iran. I'm going to tell the government of Iran, and you probably already know this, but take it from a black guy, take it from a black American who is as an ethnic group here in America, the bottom of the barrel, because that's what we are, whether we like to admit that or not. They will never like you. The United States government will never care for you. They will never see you as an equal. They will never, ever, ever, ever never ever, not even an afterthought, see you as likable. Ever. And since the United States government will never see you as likable, will never see you as a equal, will never treat you as an equal, will not even consider you as an afterthought, you must bomb. You must launch your strikes. Unfortunately, I live in this country, you know, but it has to be said. Sometimes, you know, things just have to happen like that. It's unfortunate. It is very, very, very unfortunate. And so that is my message to the people of Iran. I wish you guys well. I wish the average American on the street very well. I really do. We are living in some very troubled times. And for any Americans out there that think that there will not be any ramifications or repercussions for our actions on the global stage, I will sincerely urge you to think again, reconsider your position, and understand that the unilateral control that we used to have, America used to have, it's gone. It's never coming back. We live in a multipolar world. We've always lived in a multipolar world. We always have. Every country depends on every country. And that's just what it is. There is no one country that is better than the next. You know, at the end of the day, we are all one people. We all put our pants on, one leg at a time. And respect should be given to all countries. But unfortunately, in the times that we're living in right now, the necessary evils must be committed, unfortunately, for the greater good. I'm hoping that if Iran does launch their campaigns of military actions towards mainland America, that I'm alive enough to film and record that, to write about it, so it sits in the history books of time. That is my message to Iran. That is all.